Hey guys, welcome to Mad Scientist Barbecue. I'm Jeremy Yoder, and today we're going to take a look at these Shun Sora knives that I bought at Costco. We're going to unbox it and see what they're like. I got these knives for two reasons. The first reason is because I just needed some quality knives to do cutting whenever I cook or whenever I'm getting ready to smoke some meat on the smoker. I need quality knives that are going to do the job and last for a long time, hopefully. The second reason I got these knives is because I was catching a lot of flack in some of the other videos I put up because I wasn't using a proper knife to do some of the jobs I was doing, like trimming a brisket. So when I trimmed a brisket, I had this Wusthof paring knife, which isn't a bad paring knife, but the reason I used it is because it's the sharpest knife I had by far, right? So I have some cheap steak knives that I bought at the grocery store. I have a cheap IKEA chef's knife, and I had this knife that was by far the sharpest and the only one I felt comfortable using, because with a dull knife you're more likely to cut yourself. So that's why I used this knife. And when you're on a budget like I am, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So I went out after I'd saved enough money and got some decent knives, and these are the Shun Sora knives. And if you take a look at the box right here, it gives you a breakdown basically of what's included in the set. So it's an 8-piece set, but that's somewhat misleading because 2 of the pieces aren't knives. There are 6 knives, and then a wood block, and then a honing rod. So let's open this guy up and see what we got. All right, I think these are going to be the knives themselves. Okay, and here's our wood block. The packaging seems pretty good. There's a little insert, the fancy Japanese symbol right there. Makes me feel kind of like a samurai. But let me pull out this wood block. Okay, so I'll set this box down for a minute. Like I said, these are called Shun knives, but I'm pretty sure that's actually not how it's pronounced. I mean, I've heard Shun, but I would imagine if somebody were speaking Japanese, it would sound more like Shun or something. But in America, we pronounce a lot of things the wrong way. Like, I'm pretty sure it's not actually Nissan or Toyota. But I'll go with Shun just because that's what I've heard. So I'm gonna open up this box and take a look at these knives. Okay, one honing rod. All right, so first we got the honing steel. Comes in its own separate box here. And to be honest, I've tried to use a honing steel before on another set of knives that a friend of mine had, and I'm gonna have to figure this out because it really did not work. But am I glad to have it? Sure. But I had to figure out how to use it first. I think you need to use it basically before and after every time you use your knives. This seems reasonably sturdy, seems to be well built, and Shun has a good reputation, so hopefully that one will work. Now, the knives themselves, see if I can pull this apart. All right, this is kind of exciting. After I pull each one of these out and we take a look at them, I'm going to set them all out together so you can kind of see what the whole set is. A couple important things you might want to know is that I got these at Costco. I think they may be exclusive to Costco. And the price was $249.99. So in terms of getting reasonably good quality knives, that's a really good price. If you compare it to other places online, that's really a steal. So let's take a look at each knife individually. So let me pull this one off. Here we've got the paring knife. I think this is a 3.5-inch paring knife. And one thing that's pretty unique about Shun knives is they have this kind of decorative finish here at the bottom. It looks like it's been, you know, hand pounded with a hammer or something like that. And I think what they're trying to show is some of their craftsmanship, because the high-end Shun knives are actually made with many sheets of steel, maybe 30 or 40 or 50, I don't know how many it is, it's a lot. And this is made with just 2. But the good thing about this knife is that it's made with VG10 steel, which is a very, very hard steel. And so it's gonna be really, really sharp and resistant to becoming dull, which is very, very good. So put this knife in the block and then maybe take a look at some of these others. All right, next knife. This, I believe, is the 8-inch chef's knife. And this is a really pretty knife. It feels pretty good in the hand. One thing I noticed when I'm looking at it is that there actually there's a rounded place right here, so for rocking the knife up and down, but then it's pretty flat right here. So I'll have to test it out and see what I think, if that's a good design or a bad design. But regardless, it's a very beautiful knife. Put this guy in the block and move on. Next knife. We're gonna have to return these. So, wow, so that's disappointing. So this knife right here, I believe, is the 7-inch Santoku knife, and it very clearly has a big chip in the bottom of the knife. Other than that, though, it's a beautiful knife. Unfortunately, I can't use it. This is going back to Costco tomorrow. Man, that's disappointing. Let's take a look at some of the others. I wonder if that piece, that missing piece, is somewhere in this cardboard. If I can hear it. No, don't hear anything. Regardless, let's take a look at what else we've got in here. All right. Good. I was excited about this. This is one of the ones I was most excited about. This is the 6-inch utility knife, and this is what I'll be using to do any kind of brisket trimming or something like that. It's going to be very, very sharp, and hopefully it'll work really well for trimming big cuts of meat like brisket, until I get the Premier Shun boning knife that I ordered online, which is a top of the line knife, and that should be lights out awesome. But this knife, beautiful like all the others. One other important detail about these knives is that they have a 16-degree edge. So that means that altogether the wedge created by the cutting is 32 degrees, including both sides, which means it's very, very sharp. So it's not going to be blunt. It's going to be a very sharp point, which means that it's going to cut very, very well. So it's going to be able to go in more smoothly, more like a razor blade than a blunt object, which is going to make these hopefully a great set of knives to use, minus the one with the massive chip in it. Can't believe that. All right, what's next? Here we go. The penultimate knife. Okay, this is the 6-inch chef's knife. And the thing that doesn't quite make sense to me about including the 6-inch chef's knife is it already includes an 8-inch chef's knife. And the 8-inch chef's knife would fulfill all the same purposes as the 6-inch chef knife, except this one might be better if somebody's got small hands, or they're not very physically strong, or they want just kind of a better control of the knife. But I can't imagine somebody would use both of them. So it seems a little bit redundant to include both a 6-inch and an 8-inch chef's knife. Regardless, again, another beautiful knife. All right, the final knife we're gonna take a look at here is what I believe they call the Shun Ultimate Utility Knife, which I don't quite understand. I don't know what job this knife would do that the other knives wouldn't do. And so to me, it don't make no sense. But maybe there's some secret hidden purpose I'm not aware of. It does have kind of this undulating blade here, and I would guess that it's very, very sharp. You might use it to cut big vegetables like a butternut squash or something. You might use it maybe to cut cheese. I don't think it would really be good because the cheese would stick to the side. Maybe it's just a really glorified, overpriced sandwich knife. In all honesty, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. We're going to find out, I guess. As I said, I was going to lay all these knives out, and so I laid them out here so you can take a look at them. And to quote Jeff Foxworthy's redneck word of the day, mayonnaise some good looking knives. Apart from the chip that you see right here, can't emphasize how much I'm disappointed by that. But here we've got, just as a kind of a comparison between all of them, we've got the honing steel right here. We got the 8-inch chef's knife, 7-inch Santoku knife, the 6-inch glorified sandwich knife, or as they call it, the ultimate utility knife. We have a 6-inch chef's knife, a 6-inch utility knife, and then I think a 3.5-inch paring knife. So that's the set, that's the whole set. That's what you're gonna get if you go to Costco and spend $250 on a set of Shun Sora knives. Overall, I think it's a great purchase if your knives are all in good shape. Thank you for watching Mad Scientist Barbecue. If any of you guys have been considering buying these knives, I hope this review was helpful for you. If any of you have these knives and want to leave a comment down below, that would be great so people can get a better sense from somebody who's really used the knives. Also, if you like the video, please like the video below and subscribe to the channel for more videos.
Alright, we'll edit that.